So Robert Putnam is a technocrat, early 20th century. He wrote this book called Elite Transformations in the Advanced Industrial Societies. And technocracy was a term that originated in the early 20th century, but it wasn't really until the Great Depression that people sort of developed the term. The Great Depression was a monumental collapse in the economy, right? Everybody knows about the Great Depression. So people began to kind of think of what's a different option? What's a different way we could go rather than this, rather than a catastrophic failure of kind of the individual and kind of, the collective people at large, right? What can we go? Where can we move to? And technocracy is used as a replacement economic system that is run by the experts, the middle managers, right? They're going to rule your life. We're going to give over everything to these people, to the technocrats, the people who have the know-how, the expert class. And they'll be able to control all the levers of production and the economy and everything. And they'll be able to divvy out things in the most efficient way. Not the most equitable, right? Not like the woke. Not the most morally just, maybe like the right would say, but the most efficient in the pragmatic way. And technocrats, and like I said, they're apolitical. They really only use politics to further their agenda. We've seen this just recently. I think Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, all these people, none of them, from what I could see, had ever really espoused anything that was MAGA up until when Elon Musk bought X in 2022, right? And then he completely hard chilled for him and got him in the White House by using the algorithm and AI, right? And then what did they do? They instantly created Doge. Doge was like the first thing they did. Before we even got a border wall, we got Doge. What did he say? Wait, we got to get rid of fraud and abuse. We have to streamline this, just like I did with X. We have to streamline the government. Pragmatic, efficient, right? These are the kind of the terms they use. These are the terms that they appeal to, these people. Their mentality, their ideas are not tethered to ideology. They're not left, they're not right. They're not moral. I don't think any of these people are really religious. As we saw, Peter Thiel is a homosexual, but he wants to come out and talk about being a Christian. And he talks about transhumanism and all this stuff. None of this stuff is Christian. But they actually don't appeal to any of that stuff. They appeal to pragmatism. And they actually believe that dataism, this is their God. The God is data. Data can foresee the future. And I've talked about this before, where most things now are solely data-driven. Everything is objective, data-driven science now. Even something like baseball. It's all about statistics. It's all about data. It's all about the numbers. And if you could input and crunch the code, you can figure out the most optimal play at any given time. Well, when you do that and you gamify it, you gamify the game, it turns out that the correct play, everybody knows it. And the correct play at every given time is already known. And it makes the game incredibly boring to watch. Same with basketball. Hit a three-pointer. That's the game now. It's the most efficient play. Just learn how to shoot a three. Learn how to do make the most amount of points. And it's like life is just not like that. And that's one of the spicy things about sports that people liked, was the crazy stuff that would happen. The crazy off-the-wall chaos that might ensue. But if we relegated it to just do the most efficient play, it's only going to be given the parameters, it's only going to be a certain number of plays you can do. And that causes stagnation. That causes people to be bored or disinterested. Peter Thiel talked about this in his interview, where he talked about we're in a period of stagnation. The stagnation is because we have too much data. There's no mystery out there. There's nobody just trying for something and it working. Oh, he did that. He jumped off the wall and caught the ball and did this crazy play that we've never seen before. That's where creativity comes. It comes from the kind of blip of revelation you have in the heat of the moment. It doesn't come from here, you're going to do this. We have it all programmed out. You're going to do A, then B, and then C. And we're going to win the game. That's not creativity. That's not ingenuity. That's nothing new. It's the same thing over and over again. So I don't think more data, more of this stuff, more technocracy is going to create more. It's not going to get us out of this stagnation. Yes, and like I said, all of them, they're all about efficiency and output of, and this is the key, it's material conditions. None of these people, I don't believe any of these people are religious. I actually think they see themselves as gods. They see themselves as being the arbiters, like I said, the arbiters of truth. We create the algorithm. We have your eyes. We are your eyes. We create, okay, and then when your eyes deceive you, who do you appeal to? Well, you're appealing to Grok. You're appealing to ChatGPT. You're appealing to all these things. And we also created that too. So we literally have you mind fucked, for lack of a better term, and we create your reality. And they'll walk around like gods, and they will be like gods. So then we got Howard Scott, who kind of founded the technocratic movement in 1938. So this is 40 years prior to Robert Putnam's book. And he says, technocracy is the science of social engineering. Right there, he just says it. We're just going to socially engineer people through data and statistics and science. Is the scientific operation of the entire social mechanism to produce and distribute goods and services to the entire population of this continent. So they will be the managers and the distributors of goods, of your income, of whatever. They will be the ones, they know, they created the reality, you fucking idiot. We created your reality, you idiot. So we're going to tell you how much money you should have, how many goods you should have, based on this calculation that our AI came up with. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes total sense. For the first time in human history, it will be done as a scientific, technical, engineering problem. There will be no place for politics or politicians, finance or financiers, rackets or racketeers. Technocracy states that this method of operating the social mechanism of the North American continent is now mandatory because we have passed from a state of actual scarcity into the present status of potential abundance, in which we are now held to an artificial scarcity forced upon us in order to continue a price system which can distribute goods only by means of medium of exchange. Technocracy states that price and abundance are incompatible. The greater the abundance, the smaller the price. In a real abundance, there can be no price at all. Only by abandoning the interfering price control and substituting a scientific method of production and distribution can an abundance be achieved. Technocracy will distribute by means of a certificate of distribution, available to every citizen from birth to death. The tech date will encompass the entire American continent from Panama to North Pole because the natural resources and the natural boundary of this area make it independent, self-sustaining, and geographical unit. So right there, this guy from 1938, one of the founders of the technocratic movement, is basically saying this is what we're going to do. 100 years ago, this is what we want to achieve. We have so many resources that we can just control the resources and just distribute them. It's like, this isn't socialism. This isn't fascism. This is beyond that. This is apolitical. These people have created their own political, it's not political, but their own movement, and that they are the kings and queens of these things.